One of the biggest reasons that causes some new nonprofit founders to fall into that stagnation zone is the lack of clarity. There's a great quote that says the lack of clarity always equals confusion. And what we've learned is that the biggest reason why a lot of new founders, they don't have clarity on their situation is because they haven't had the clarity forming conversations, meaning that they haven't had the conversations with themselves and or someone else that lead to clarity on what they should do and what they shouldn't be doing. So in this video, we put together 7 key questions that all new and aspiring founders should be asking themselves before launching their nonprofit organization. Let's dive. What is going on, guys? My name is Timothy Wright, the founder and CEO of the Nonprofit Launcher. We are back again with another video, and I want to get right into it. We want to discuss clarity. Now, before we dive into this, I think it's very important to research the definition of clarity. I believe that words create worlds, and how we view what we do determines how we do what we do. If you Google right now the definition of future, it says that it's the time or period of time following the moment of speaking or writing. So the definition of me and your future is a time or a period of time following the moment of speaking or writing. This is why I believe that words create worlds. So oftentimes we're saying words that we don't even know the meaning to. And when we're doing that, we could be speaking negative over our life and not even realize it. We could be speaking confusion over our life and not even realizing it. So I've already pulled up the definition of clarity right here on Google. You can do this with me if you like, so you know I'm not just making up something. I just Googled the definition of clarity on Google. There's a couple of different options. The first one says the quality of being coherent or intelligible. The second option says the quality of transparency or purity. And then the third option, I think will really resonate for the purpose of this conversation, is the quality of being easy to see or hear, sharpness of an image or sound. So when we talk about clarity on your nonprofit organization, clarity on your vision, clarity on what it is you plan on doing, think about the quality of the image you see. If you close your eyes right now, only for 10 seconds, to just thought about the vision that you have for your organization, is it sharp or is it blurry? If it's sharp, this means that you have a lot of clarity on a direction and where you want to go. If it's a little cloudy and blurry, this means that we need to get more clear on a direction that we plan on going in. So let's do that. All right, question number 1. Let's get right into this. Question number 1. Who are you helping and what problem do they have? This is very key. You probably seen me talk about this in some of my other videos, but you understanding truly who your target audience is really gives you a lot of clarity on the direction that you want to go in. Understanding what problems that they're having also creates a better opportunity for you to have real products, services, and programs that actually move the needle, that actually make a difference. In order to do this, I recommend using our community needs assessment form. You can click the link in our description below and grab our free nonprofit starter kit. In this starter kit, you will see a list of questions that this community needs assessment form asks you, and this helps you actually discover the real problems that your target audience is having. So again, question number 1 is, who are you helping? Who is your target audience and what problems do they have? All right, question number 2. Why am I personally called to do this work? Why are you personally called to do this work? Something I would really encourage you to think about. 94% of people who start a nonprofit organization, there's a personal attachment to the reason why they're starting. Meaning, most times they've dealt with this personally. They have a family or a friend who dealt with this personally, and there wasn't enough resources for them or that person to overcome their situation properly. So they wanted to become the resource. Maybe that's you. Maybe you've experienced mental health. Maybe you've experienced depression. Maybe you've experienced anxiety. Maybe you've been to prison. Maybe you've been homeless, whatever it may be. And because you've been in that situation before, you now want to create product, programs, and services to help other people overcome that. There's a great mentor of mine by the name of Ed Milet. He says the best person to help is the person that you used to be. So if you used to be an individual for whatever reason that you're creating your organization, you want to get clear on that. See, your reason will pull you out of any season. Can you write that down for me? Your reason will pull you out of any season. For most people, we fall into that season of an uphill, and then we fall into the season of a downhill. Then we fall into that season of a straight and narrow, and then we're back up again. Now, what happens though, when people fall into this season of a downhill, if their reason isn't stronger than their season, they'll keep going down. Do you hear me? If their reason isn't stronger than this season, they will keep going down. See, the reason is the thing that gives you momentum, energy, focus, drive, and pushes your organization and you back to where you belong. So this is why it's so important to uncover and discover your why. Why are you doing this? Why? Why are you doing this? Take a moment and genuinely think about it. I know you want to make a difference. General answer would be because I want to give back. The general response would be because I want to make a difference. But why? What is your reason? Your reason will pull you out of any season. All right, question number 3 ties hand in hand with question number 1. If you remember, I asked, what is the target audience and what problems do they have? This is important for you to discover. So then in question number 3, we're going to talk about what programs and services are you going to offer that brings this change? What programs and services are you going to offer that brings this change? So we lay out all the problems that our target market has. And then we start thinking about, what could we do to solve this problem? What program could I offer to solve this problem? What services could I provide? Who could I partner up with? What sponsors do I need inside of my organization to connect with so I can fulfill these duties? This is important that you really want to sit down and just think about for a bit. What programs and services are you going to be offering that's going to bring change? Now, the general response that we always hear is mentorship and resources. And honestly, I hate when people say, we're going to offer resources to the community. Well, what do you mean by that? Because again, words create worlds. So if we're going to talk about these words, resources, what do you actually mean? Can you be more specific when you say resources? What resources, right? What resources in specific are you going to offer to actually make this change? It's something that we really want to uncover and discover. So when we actually launch, this is something that we already have clarity on. Does that make sense? And this ties into question number 4. Who are my key partners and supporters and allies that I need to grow this organization? No organization grows in isolation. Write that down for me, please. So as you're getting ready to create your organization, think about what businesses are in alignment with what I'm doing currently, right? What large companies, what large corporations are currently kind of in alignment with what I'm trying to do. Obviously, what I'm trying to do is different. You may be trying to offer it for free or offer it for a discount. So who could you partner up with to make this happen? What other nonprofits could you partner up with to get in-kind donations? What about politicians, lawyers? These are 2 great types of people that I want to encourage you to have in your repertoire. Having politicians and having lawyers, these are 2 individuals that can lead you to direct funding, lawyers and politicians. Of course, there's grant opportunity for you. Of course, there's going to be donors that are going to support just because they want to support. But think about on a larger scale, right? Larger partnerships, larger brand deals. Who could you partner up with and align yourself with to take your organization to a new level? This is something I want to encourage you to consider now. And we're in such a great time that you could be using AI and ChatGPT and Perplexity to help you uncover and discover. See, what I believe also is that what a lot of people do is they're going to try to spend a lot of time, weeks on weeks on weeks. They see this video, oh, I need to wait another 6 months before I launch my organization. No. Everything I'm asking you, you can find out today. All the questions that I'm listing, and we're not done, of course, you can find out and come up with the answer with today by talking to yourself, talking to AI, and talking to a friend. Now, question number 5, I think this could be a hard pill to swallow for some people because we're living in this microwave society where we're expecting everything to happen right away. As soon as I start it, it's gonna pop. As soon as I meet a person, we're in love. You're seeing this in this time. But the question number 5 is, what measurable change do I want to create in the next 1 to 3 years? Can you write this down for me? Most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year, but underestimate what they can do in 5. Most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year, but underestimate what they can do in 5. Most times we always have the vision for today, the vision for tomorrow, a quick money grab, right? A quick way for survival, but it's never long-term planning and thinking. When I'm talking to all of my millionaire friends, the difference in the conversation with my friends some of my friends that I grew up with who, not really chasing success, and then my millionaire friends and my millionaire mentors who are focused 100% on success, the people who are not focused on success, it's always about the moment. It's always about the satisfaction of today. It's always about the money grab for tomorrow. How can they make ends meet next week? But the people that I'm having conversations with that are millionaires, they're thinking about the decisions they need to make next year. What decision can I make today that's gonna position me 3 years from now? What decisions can I make today that's gonna position me 5 years from now so my company can still be sustainable? If you're an entrepreneur, you don't wanna just make money for a month. You want to make money for a lifetime. But in 5 years, if you're 25 right now, in 5 years, it's inevitable that you're going to be 30. Do you still want to be working as hard as you're working right now? Do you still want to be in the same season that you're in right now? This requires us to think more long term. So I ask that question again. What measurable impact do you see your organization making in the next 1 to 3 years? I would encourage you to really put your spirit on, this is going to take me 2 full years to really get it solidified for me to quit my job. We talk to people every day and they plan on quitting their job next month. It's like, okay, well, do you have any funders? No. You have any donors? No. Do you have a large network? No. It's like, well, how do you plan on quitting your job? Well, I'm going to apply for a grant and, I'm thinking I'm going to get at least $250,000. What? You think it's just going to happen just like that? Just like that? It could. The possibility is there with the applications and you applying, but the chances of that happening is a lot slimmer than you actually putting together a real plan and just really thinking about how you want to line this up for your future. So I would encourage that. All right, question number 6 is, how will I maintain the compliance of my organization? So for you, are you going to file your organization yourself? You're going to use a third-party source like LegalZoom or Swift Filings or something like that. Or of course you can use the nonprofit launcher where it's a lot more of a personal touch. We provide you with a lot of information and detail to grow your organization. Whatever option that you choose, you want to ensure that you are focused on maintaining the compliance of your organization. Obviously having your policies in place, having your procedures, having your bylaws, ensuring that your organization is 501c3 tax exempt. Also ensuring that every single year your organization is filing the annual 990 form to maintain your tax exemption. Talking and discussing future plans with your board members. When you're having a board meeting, actually conducting and recording board meeting minutes. This is something that you should be doing running the organization. These are things that you want to be conscious of. Now, of course, you have our YouTube channel as a digital resource for you to gain knowledge. But then if you want to get a little bit more in depth, we also have our nonprofit launcher full course where we go a lot more in depth with the actualities of how to operate and how to run your organization. You can click the link in our description and see more info about that as well. All right, and number 7, I'm definitely going to give you a couple more here. I have a lot of stuff in my notes. I'll probably make another video about this. But number 7, how will you build trust within your community? I want you to understand something. I really need you to really hear me on this. We're in a trust recession on today. At this moment, we're in a trust recession, meaning that people's trust for other people is becoming lower and lower and lower. So for you, I want you to remember me telling you this. The key ingredient to earning trust is consistency and transparency, also authenticity. Authenticity is very, 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 very essential. When I first started making these YouTube videos, I was struggling because, I think that I'm very passionate. Sometimes it can even seem very aggressive. And I was trying my hardest not to be passionate or not to be aggressive or assertive, quote unquote. But that's not authentic. That's not me. That's not who I am. I can't help myself. If you don't like it, it's completely fine. It's millions of channels, millions of people providing education about the nonprofit space. I don't believe that people are providing as in-depth information as we are about growing your organization, but that's just my personal opinion. Consistency and transparency will be the next things that fall in line to create trust. Consistency. There's been hundreds on hundreds and thousands of people who purchase our product, services, and programs, not because they found my YouTube channel and then, oh man, this guy is great, let me go ahead and just buy everything. It wasn't that. It was through the consistency of they're seeing us drop on YouTube by the week. They're seeing us post on TikTok by the day, right? Or drop on our YouTube shorts by the day. And the consistency creates trust. Please write that down for me. Your consistent efforts, your consistent activity, it creates trust. There's been people who come and they work with me after they've been following my content for a year. They say, Tim, I've been following you for a year now. And, I finally got the courage to create my organization and I had to come to you. I had to get you guys to create it for me because you provided me so much information over these years. And it's like, wow, I didn't know a year ago that there was going to be somebody who watched my videos, who really appreciated my content, who still didn't have the courage to pull the plug, but my consistency in what it is that I'm doing led to them making the decisions that they wanted to make. They wanted to start their nonprofit organization, and the fact that I was consistent with providing the information, it led them to making a decision. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Imagine if I wasn't consistent, would they have started? Would they be making a difference in their community today, currently, if I hadn't been consistent, right? Imagine for you. Imagine what your lack of consistency is breeding in your community right now. Think about it. Just think about what I just said. Think about what your consistency could create. What could your consistency breed? Honestly, I know that for me, I can only speak for myself because I've definitely been through many phases of I lack consistency. And the only time I lack consistency is when I lack belief. Every time my belief level goes down about what I'm doing, what can I do? Is this gonna work? That's always that key question. Is this gonna work? The moment we start letting those voices, is this gonna work? Is this gonna work? Creep in more than our belief of God and our faith and what we know is in our spirit, this causes us to be stagnant. This causes us to not believe. This causes us to get discouraged and not do the work. But I want to encourage you, your consistency will change your life. Me and you, we are a product of our consistencies, how we consistently act, what we consistently do, and what we consistently think. If you think about what I'm saying, your consistencies are showing up in your life. If you go to the gym every day consistently, I can see it. If you don't, if you're consistently focused on your goals and your dreams and you're working towards them, your life will show it. If you are not, your life will also show it. Me and you, we are a product of our consistencies. But I really want to encourage that. I really want to encourage you to be consistent. How? How will you build trust within your community? All right, here's just some bonuses that I want to just throw at you very quickly. Do you have the time and the resources to make this happen? A lot of the times people have $0, zero revenue, zero money, zero relationships, zero connections. Do you actually have the resources to make this happen? Maybe not right now, right? Maybe not yet. Maybe you want to spend some more time gaining knowledge, but then also focus on ways that you can create revenue for yourself so then you can go help somebody else. I'm a big believer that I want to make sure I've helped myself and my cup is full before I start giving away the cup, right? I don't want to give from a cup that's half full. I want to give from a cup that's running over. How will you tell your story that inspires other people's actions? How will you tell your story? What core values and principles will your organization have? What core values and principles will your organization have? And lastly, what will happen in your community if you don't do this? What direction will your community go if you don't do this? What direction will your community go if you do this? Really think about that. Remember, the lack of clarity always equals confusion. How we view what we do determines how we do what we do. I believe in you. I respect you. I'm signing off. Hope these questions have created some thought in your brain. Keep going. Stay focused. I'll see you again soon. My name is Timothy Wright. Peace.